Hey everyone, Deb Coviello of Illumination Partners and the Drop-In CEO brand. Thank you for joining me again this week. And I'm excited to share a story. It's a little bit of a personal story, but I think out of it, there's going to be some interesting messages if you're a CEO or senior business leader. And it is about the CEO's compass. The CEO's compass, my approach to helping you get on track when you're going through transformational change as a leader. This week, last week actually, and I was in a bit of a COVID vaccine fog. I wrote about this earlier this week, but really, I had cleared my calendar knowing that potentially I was not going to feel very well. And I didn't the second day. And so I took the time to just sit back, relax a little bit, clear out my email, check my schedule for the following week, just do a lot of administrative stuff because mentally I just really wasn't up to it. But, I felt off track. And as a leader, it's okay to feel off track every once in a while. First of all, it's powerful simply to recognize it. But I truly, truly actually was thinking about my business, didn't feel quite right. I knew I was very busy doing a lot of things, writing my book, doing the podcast, and reaching out and networking with people and seeing how I could serve them. But I was still in a fog. And so sometimes when we share our approaches with other people, sometimes we have to look at the CEO's compass and think about maybe I need to use it to get back on track. So let me just fast forward a little bit. The CEO's compass, true north, is peace of mind. And on the top part of the compass, and we'll be sharing more with you about this, we talk about purpose and performance, past and pride. Our compass points from a strategic point that you use to help get yourself back on track, especially after you've done a little bit of reflection and a self-assessment. And then there are tactical compass points along the bottom of the compass around people, process, and platform. And so I was laying on the couch feeling a little bit lost. I realized I'd lost a little bit of my sense of purpose. And so here's a case in point, and a quick shout out to one of the guides in my life, Carol Eckerly. We had a conversation way back, and she acknowledged me for all the work that I'm doing, trying to connect with you and with my message. But she says, Deb, I'm still not seeing it. You still seem to be all over the place. You put out such a great amount of content, but I'm still not seeing your message. And I'm saying to myself, oh my, I have a sense of purpose in what I'm doing. I'm trying to help leaders going through rapid transformation, help them through that process, elevate their business as well as their people. But as an outsider looking in, she didn't see that sense of purpose. And so moving this a little bit to a potential client I'm working with, tremendous entrepreneurial spirit that they have. So many people are trying to get on the bus to be with that particular company. But after a 30-minute conversation, I still didn't get what that company was all about. I mean, I was excited too, but their purpose was not coming through. And so I ask you to think a little bit. If you're a business leader, entrepreneur, just somebody in the rank and file in your company, if you talk to somebody and ask them what their purpose was of the company and how they aligned to it, what answer would they give you? I suggest you kick the boxes around and just casually ask a few people. Ask people if they understand the mission of the company, what's the purpose of the work that they're doing, and is it aligned to the greater purpose? If you find that you're getting some very interesting answers or blank stares, I might suggest as a leader that you look at the compass point purpose and just truly see if the messages you're communicating are getting down and out. So, the COVID fog. I'm still laying on the couch and thinking about things. And one of the challenges I was thinking about was I've been really, really busy. I have a lot of activities between billing and invoicing and the podcast and communicating. I'm already starting to think about I need some administrative help. And then I realized I was failing or off track on the performance part of my compass. I was thinking that all the activity that I was engaged in was value added and necessary. But then when I had to look back at the activity that accumulated over time, and I will point out to you, sometimes it sneaks up on you and you think it's all important. I lost the ability to prioritize and see what was important. And very quickly, as I'm laying on the couch, I'm clearing my calendar, rescheduling things, and going back to my roots of understanding what are my priorities in order to be able to get the best performance out of the 6, 7, 8 hours a day versus working 12. And so I want you to start thinking about this a little bit. And I will tell you about a particular client. Love the client, great people. Again, most of the clients I work with have tremendous talent and people. But there was one person that I was working with that kept coming to me and apologizing over and over again for missing a deadline. It just became a habit that they were used to because they were missing deadlines. But I looked at them and the work that they were doing, and yes, they were getting things done necessary for the business. But from a prioritization perspective, they weren't spending enough time moving the needle forward in order to be able to not be in firefighting mode and always hanging their head down low and missing their priorities and apologizing. And so I ask you, do you see this in your organization? I talk about one particular tool, and again, it's been out there, but it really came to me later in life that now I use it all the time, and it's the Eisenhower matrix for decision making. And the quadrants are based on what is urgent and important. If you haven't heard about it, I suggest you look it up. And even if you have really good decision logic and what's urgent and important, you do now. It's important but not so urgent, schedule it later. If it's not so important but urgent to get done, could you delegate it? And if it's not important and not urgent, you got to delete it. So you may have this good decision logic, but are there people in your organization that are constantly head down, apologizing, late on their assignments, and they just can't seem to get out of the hamster wheel? Think about prioritization as a tool you might need on the performance compass point to get you back to true north and peace of mind. And one more thing that I learned as I was starting to come out of my COVID fog, I'm getting ready for the next day. I'm starting to feel a little bit better, feeling a little bit clearer in what I'm doing. But I also was a little sad at the same time. I've been spending so much time creating content for you and writing articles, podcasting, and promoting. I love to write, communicate, listen, and support you and what I see that you're doing. And I do this really well. And it's one of my superpowers. But I'm saying, well, maybe I need to do a little less of that in order to focus on the things that are going to generate top line growth in my business. And I was actually very sad for a little bit. But it doesn't mean you have to release all the things that you love to do, that you're passionate about. Again, that is the pride that I have and those special talents that I love to marry with both my strengths and the things that I'm really good at. But what I came to the realization after talking to one of my mentors, Dave, and I'm going to be talking to another one, Peter, in a little while, it's one of those things that I've come to the realization. It's okay to recognize the pride in the things that make Deb Coviello and the Drop-In CEO a little unique and things that really fulfill my soul. But what it means sometimes is I acknowledge the pride in those creative things that I do, but I do need to just de-emphasize it just a little bit or fine tune it a little bit in a direction that serves you and helps you find peace of mind. So as I start to come out of this COVID fog, I found that I was off course to my own compass in the areas of purpose. And if you just adjust it a little bit, you get to peace of mind. Purpose, which is also on the other side of the compass point, peace of mind, and got that back into check. And then a little bit around the pride, a couple more compass points away, push that back into check, de-emphasize a couple things, still preserve who I am. I came out of that COVID fog last week feeling so much better about what I'm doing. And you may even notice it a little bit as you see me on social media, doing a little bit more of certain things and a little less. But I ask you as a leader, as you think about how you're navigating through some kind of transition or transformation, do you have a compass? Do you have a compass that if you're just a little off track in one area or the other, first of all, do you see it in your organization? Do you even have the assessment tools to know exactly what are those couple, 3 steps you need to take just to get you back on track and do the purposeful work that you're doing? So that brings me to the end of what I wanted to share with you. It's really about a personal story about being able to live the work that I share with you that could be hopefully very impactful. The CEO's Compass, the subtitle we're still working on, is due to come out later this year. And it is my guide to leaders going through rapid transformation to be able to do your own assessment and be able to deliver the results by getting back on track and getting peace of mind. So if you like this, I actually have an assessment tool. Just email me at Deborah, Deborah, at Coviello, C as in cat, M as in Mary.com, or just go to my LinkedIn page and direct message me. I would love to send you that assessment tool, and it's going to give you an idea of what is the maturity of your organization or situation along the different compass points. And you're going to get a score and a little bit of advice from me. And if you want to learn more about it, would love to just get on the phone with you and talk about it. But the book, The CEO's Compass, is coming out later this year. I am so excited to share more with you as we get it closer and closer to the launch. So if this was helpful, simply I thank you. If there's something more you want to see in the future live talk medias, just message me. I always love feedback and I always love connecting with you. So I wish you a good rest of your day. Happy Wednesday. Maybe it's Thursday for you in another region. And I look forward to catching you next week, hopefully with a guest. So be well. And the CEO's Compass, hopefully it will be able to help you get back on track. Be well.